everybody. Welcome to the Power of Mom. Oh, wait, hold on. There we go. Welcome to the Power of Mom. This is Pow Pow, and I am so glad that you guys are here. Right now we're going to be taking some phone calls from people that wanted to be part of this amazing project, which is the Domestic Violence Awareness project from the Power of Mom. I have her on hold right now. But what we're going to be doing is we're leaving an open window for you guys to share your story, whether you want to share your name or you want to be anonymous. It's up to you, but sometimes it feels better to just spill it all out, or as I've been saying in my other videos, sometimes just hearing somebody else's story will help you kind of wake up if you are already in a situation that has domestic violence in it. So here we have a caller. 1 second. Hello? Wait, let me see. Why can't I hear? Hello?
Hello?
There we go. Welcome.
Yay. Thank
yeah,
you.
sorry about that. Haven't heard you in a long time.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have our caller, and she wanted to remain anonymous, right?
Yes.
And, okay. So tell us your age.
I'm 24.
24. How long ago was this relationship for you?
About 6 years it ended.
It ended 6 years
ago. It officially, yes.
So you were 18 when it ended. So you were a teenager then?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot in the news. Like, there's, like, a lot of domestic violence in teenage dating. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you grow up with, domestic violence being around you, or just, violence or something?
Yes. It was a normal thing in my household.
Did you feel like, I don't know, like, how long were you in that relationship, the one with the person that was
It was
violent
2 years,
with you?
so it was a little while.
Did you guys, what did you think when it first happened? Do you remember when was, like, the first time that you kind of were like, hey, or, like, what's the furthest
like something's
that you can
wrong?
remember? Yeah.
I remember he apologized, and I was like, oh, it must have been an accident? I don't know. It was just, I knew it was wrong, but he said he was sorry, so then I thought it was okay, but then it didn't stop, so then I realized that he wasn't very sorry.
And if you don't mind me asking, what exactly happened? Do you remember the situation, or what led to the first time?
Well, the first thing was, it was about a month after we started dating, and I wasn't ready to do anything with him yet, but he didn't listen to me when I told him no. So he raped me, but I didn't think it was bad because we were in a relationship. So
yeah.
I knew it was off, but I didn't realize it was all the way wrong, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. Well, you were first. Was he your first?
No, but
you were little, yeah.
Yeah, and it had only been once before him, so it was like brand new to me. It wasn't anything.
And you were
that I did
but
often.
you were still young, though. You were still young, like 16.
Like just turned 16. Yeah.
And how old was he?
He was a year older than me, so he wasn't that much older than me. But we had known each other since we were little. We grew up in church together.
Oh, ouch. So you really kind of thought, like, oh, really nice guy, maybe, I don't know. What
he
were
was
you
like
thinking?
the bad boy of my church, and I had a huge crush on him since I was 11, and then when I was 16, he was like, hey, we should date. And I was like, okay, yeah. And then it just didn't turn out the way I expected. He had a lot of issues himself. It turned out that he had mental issues that he was taking medication for. He was bipolar, borderline schizophrenic. So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was he getting any treatment then, or did you find this out like way later that he had those kind of issues?
I knew he was on medication when we were dating at first, but I didn't realize what it was for. And then, as time went on, he wasn't getting like any therapy or anything like that. He was just taking medication, but sometimes he didn't. And that's when he would really just go off of it. There was times when he would push all the furniture against the door of his room, and he'd have me sitting at the corner across from it with a knife to my throat, telling me that if anybody tried to come in, he was going to kill me. So there was a lot that went on. Just because his own mind, he wasn't thinking clearly, and the people around him.
And that was like the schizophrenia? Like, was that the schizo in him? Like, did he think?
Yeah. He thought that the people in the house, like his own parents, were going to kill him. And so, basically, he was going to kill me before they could kill him.
And were his parents involved in any of this, or you guys were just home alone at his place?
They would be there, but we spent all the time in his room with the door shut, and his parents just didn't think anything of it.
Oh, so his parents didn't even know that he was flipping out.
Right. They would have no idea this was going on, just because he always had us in the room, and we just never left the room.
And what would you tell him? Like, was there anything that you could say to him to kind of, I don't know, calm him down?
No, because he didn't believe me. If I said anything to him, he would tell me I was on their side. So the best thing for me to do was just keep quiet and hope nothing bad happened.
And how would you go home after that, though? Like, you would just kind of go back home and be like, okay, that was nice hanging out with you.
Well, sometimes he actually wouldn't let me go home, even when I was supposed to. He just wouldn't let me go home. And sometimes it was days that he wouldn't let me go home, and I'd have to wait till he fell asleep and crawl out his window.
And what would your parents say?
At that time, I was living with my mom, and she was having her own issues, so she just didn't really care.
That makes it kind of hard. So it's kind of like you were already in a vulnerable position, and then you had no other kind of way out, huh?
Right, and it was like, well, he loves me, so, and it's not, in my head I was like, he loves me, and all of this is not his fault, because he has his issues, and I'm the only person that could understand this, so he needs me. So I almost felt wrong for leaving him, even though everything was going on.
You know what's so funny? Because I met you, and I never knew that you and I had that in common. I don't know. I think you probably picked up on the videos I made, but my ex-husband, he has a personality disorder. And I remember sometimes he would kind of like make us feel like it was everybody against us. And sometimes I'd be like, no, like everything's fine, you know, like they're trying to, you know, be helpful and stuff. And he'll be like, no, now you're just taking their side. And then because you know that they have nobody else, like you feel guilty. You feel guilty leaving them, you know? And it's one of those things where, I don't know, did you ever feel like, because I know you and I know that you're the kind of person that likes helping people a lot. like, a lot. Did you feel like you were, I don't know, like, did he make you feel like you were making a difference kind of a thing? Like, you know, it's,
yes.
I don't know how to,
He would tell me that he needs me, and I'm the only one that can, he would tell me I'm the only one that can help him, and I'm the only one that makes him feel safe. So I felt like
like there was nothing else you can, like you would kind of, you would fail him if you, that makes sense. And what was I going to ask? So you said this went on for 2 years. And no, but did anybody suspect, your friends? What happened with what you would call, I guess, like your support? Like, did you have a lot of, like, friends that noticed anything, or classmates, or did you?
I had dropped out of normal high school and went to charter school. And and my teacher had tried to call CPS because I went to school with black eyes and handprints up and down my arms. And my teacher, and CPS told my teacher because I was over 16, they can't do anything unless a police report is filed. And since there was no police report filed, nothing ever happened. So that was my support, was my teacher from charter school. But
did you talk to him about it, or did he even know it was your ex? I mean, did he know it was your boyfriend, or did he think that it was your parents?
It was actually a combination between my mom and my boyfriend. So he knew it was both of them, but there was still nothing he could do.
Oh, man.
So I just graduated early. They kind of helped me pass school early in hopes that I would just get out of here and go somewhere better. Yeah. But it didn't work. It just gave me more time to be locked in a room.
More time too. Oh my gosh. Because then, how long after you graduated you stayed with him? Longer?
About a year. I graduated early. So I stayed with him for almost Yeah, and it just got worse, especially because even though all the friends I had kind of dropped away because I wasn't allowed, or he didn't allow me to go anywhere or talk to anybody. I even had a job for 2 weeks working at a bagel place, and I had cream cheese on my shirt because that's what you put on bagels. And he accused me of cheating on him, and I was not allowed to go back to work.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I understand what he meant.
Yes, and it's just so ridiculous. Like, I would go see him with that all over me. Like, his mind was just so funny thinking back on it.
Yeah. I remember you told me about bagels the other day that you could, what was it? I forgot what you said about bagels. When you were in that one class.
Yeah, that's the only job I had.
No, but did you say there's a really cool place that sells bagels around here? I don't even know. Like a fancy place? I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay, so what was, I'm just wondering, what was the last straw for you, though? Like, that made you be like, you know what, like, enough. Like, I can't do this for, you know, longer, you know. What was your last straw?
The last straw was my cousin had came to visit. It was her first time visiting ever from Pennsylvania. She had never been to California. So I wanted to go out and spend time with her. And I took her to the beach, and then we went to the mall. And when I was at the mall, he kept calling me, telling me I was cheating on him. And I was trying to tell him, no, I'm at the mall with my cousin. Would you like to talk to her? And after he kept calling me, I just turned my phone off. And when I turned it back on, my voicemail was completely full of voicemails where he was singing songs about how he was going to kill me and my family, and just going into complete detail about everything he was going to do. And my voice box was full. You could not, no more voicemails could come into my phone. And my cousin heard them and told my dad, who I wasn't living with, but he was more sane than my mom. And my dad called the police, and the police came and told my dad, I was still 17 at the time. I was just about to turn 18. She said, right now she's underage. You need to get a restraining order put on him right now. And I was really upset, and I actually yelled at the police officer, and she threw me in the back of the cop car, and explained to me, I know that you're in a bad situation right now, and you don't. Are you right there? I hear it echo.
Yes, I hear.
Sorry.
Okay.
But she said, no, it's okay. She said, you're in a bad situation, and I know you're just upset about everything, but you need to stop this. I'm going to take the handcuffs off you. You're going to go back inside, and you're going to get the restraining order, and you're going to get this fixed, basically. And so we got the restraining order. My parents did, and I didn't want it because I still felt wrong about, I don't know. I felt like because I had left everybody in my life because he didn't want me around anyone. So then I didn't have anybody but him. So then I felt like I needed him towards the end as well.
Do you? I have a question. Did you also feel some sort of loyalty towards him because of that? I don't know, you feel like this pride, I don't know. I know for me, I felt for the longest time ever, the loyalty of, because for such a long time you were they make you feel like, you saved me from this dark hole, you give them supposedly their light. And you end up feeling so loyal to them.
Yeah.
And I understand. I remember the first time he got arrested, I tried just filing a police report just so that it would be on record. And when the police came, they took him in handcuffs. And I remember I was crying and I was trying to get him back inside the house. And the cops wouldn't let me. And I understand, that fear. It's there's something wrong, but at the same time you feel some sort of loyalty because you when you're with them, you get to the point to where you have nobody else. So it's kind of you're stripped naked kind of a thing. It's like you have nobody.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
There you go. High five. We're not alone. No, I'm kidding. Do you feel that as you tried to, how long was he in jail for?
He didn't go to jail for that. It was just a restraining order. And even after the restraining order was put on, because he didn't physically do anything, and even though it was terrorist threats, they didn't take him to jail.
Okay.
Yeah. But
did he accept
even after that
restraining order?
Yes, that's what I was about to say. He showed up at my house with a knife and started slitting his wrist in front of me, and I was home alone. And so I called his mom because I didn't know what else to do. And I said, your son is out front my house slitting his wrist. And she said, I can't do anything. Call the police. So I did, and he took off. I said, I called the police, and he took off. And he went into a mental institute for 2 weeks after that. And then when he got out of there, I would come outside of my house, and he would just be across the street. And it got into a stalker situation to where I went to the park one time, and he jumped out of the bushes with a screwdriver and chased me all the way home. And luckily, my dad was at my house. And so I went inside, and we called the police, but every time the police said they needed proof, and how do I have proof of that? So, yeah, he broke it a lot, but nothing ever happened because I never had proof that he broke it.
And how are you supposed to prove that they're chasing you, running for your life, kind of a thing?
Exactly. And they told me it sounded like a tall story, but I'm like, if you meet him, then you'll realize it's not.
Yeah. Probably because it's kind of nuts. But
it kind of is.
He's schizo, so it's one of those things where it's like they should understand what is behind a mental disorder.
Yeah.
But because most normal people wouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Pretty much. So when was the last time you saw this dude?
I saw the last time because I go to church with his mom still, and he had ended up in prison for unrelated things with me, but he ended up in prison for a couple years, and he got out last year, and then he went to church with his mom one Sunday, and I saw him walk in, and I walked out right away. Didn't even say anything to him. But then a week later, he died.
Not even worth it.
Right.
Oh. Did he kill himself?
It was a prescription pill overdose.
Yeah.
So he had an addiction to prescription pills as well, along during this whole thing. So they don't know if it was a purposeful overdose or if he just took too many. Yeah.
Well, at least now he's in a better place, because it really must suck to have a mental disorder and just your life always being hell. And
I agree.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, I still have nightmares, but I don't worry about him showing up anymore.
How did you rebuild your life after that? Like, once you left, how did you kind of rebuild your life?
I think after that, at first I didn't. At first I went down a destructive path because I didn't know how to deal with everything that had just happened. And I got pretty heavy into drug addiction for a couple years. And
was it like to help you cope and stuff with?
Yeah,
because you were still having issues at home, or it was?
Yeah, I was. I actually got into drug addiction with my mom, so it was a big combination of lots of stuff. It was dealing with everything that had to do with him, and then dealing with everything at home. And so for a while I didn't rebuild at all. And I just kind of tried not to think about it.
You just kind of unwatered your flower. Oh, that sounds kind of wrong.
Yeah. That's it.
But like if you're a plant, you just stopped watering your spirit or whatever.
Yeah.
So what got you to rebuild yourself? How long after?
It was a while after. I think about 3 years. And then I got pregnant with my first son, and I kind of came out of everything. And I didn't want him to go through what I went through or put him in a position where he was vulnerable like I was to anything like that. So it made me snap out of everything, and I've been on track since.
Aren't kids the best? It make you superheroes.
I know.
I kid you not, since my son's birth, a lot of people that had issues got better.
Yeah.
I didn't have a career, and then if it wasn't for my kid and everything that happened, I wouldn't have been so focused and trying to go to school. It is a miracle. was meant to be.
Yeah,
But
I agree too, 100%.
so where are you at now? Like, is your life better?
Yes, it's a lot better. But I'm still traumatized from the whole situation. Like, even though he's gone, I still always have a fear that somebody's around the corner with a knife. Like, it sounds
even
funny,
though he's dead?
and I feel, even though he's gone, I still have a fear that somebody's out there to kill me, because I lived with that fear for the time that he was before he died. I lived with that fear.
Yeah.
And when I'm home by myself, I get so paranoid and I turn every light on. And sometimes if I'm home by myself, I can't even be in my house. I have to leave because I'm so scared that somebody's going to be in there. And
did you
I still
feel
have
sorry. You had nightmares?
No, you're fine. Oh, I was just saying I still have nightmares. They're not always there, but there'll be maybe a week or a week and a half where the whole time I just have dreams where he's coming to kill me or kill my kids or kidnap my kids or just do bad things, you know. Yeah. So I'm still dealing with that part, and I'm contemplating getting treatment. But
I was going to say, have you tried therapy? There is free once a month. Maybe I'll link you the group, but there's in San Diego they have Break the Silence, and I think they're breakthesilence.org, but their Facebook is Break the Silence and then the number 1. And once a month they have group therapy, and I know that I've gone to other group therapies in where I live, and honestly I feel like in conjunction with my alone therapy, like, it's helped me out so much. And imagine I only had to deal with psychological abuse. It wasn't anything near what you had to go through, and I still struggle, you know, like I still am afraid of him, you know. It's just when you deal with being threatened all the time and for such a long time, you just kind of take it in. I don't know. You kind of you can't be the same person you were before, because like you've been afraid before to an extent that like you can't erase that. We have about a minute more left. Did you want to say anything to anybody that could be going through this, or any advice, or just anything?
If you can leave, if you kind of have to worry about yourself when you're in this situation. And I know it's hard, because it was hard for me, and hard for me to worry about myself when I felt like I needed to worry about this other person, or that they were more important in the situation. But if you can somehow just think about yourself and about your future and about your family and get yourself out of there, you just got to do it. I don't know if that's going to help anybody, but I hope it does. Just get yourself out. Run.
It gets better.
Yes, get
Life
better.
Life will be hard, but it gets better. It gets better. I mean, healing takes a long time. And do you feel that talking about it has helped you out? Have you ever talked about this to anybody?
Only my current boyfriend really knows the stuff, and not even everything. So I probably should talk more.
How did you feel right now just talking about it, though?
I felt okay. When I talk about it, I feel like there's an emotional disconnect. Like, I can say everything that happened, but I don't feel like it was me, if that makes sense.
Is it kind of like you're telling a story, or?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I'm telling a story.
Maybe were you disconnected from yourself maybe in that time? Possibly that's why? Like you were disconnected, so I don't know.
That could be it. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Well, it's pretty much done now. Thank you for calling. I really appreciate you sharing your story. Everybody, thank you for listening. This is To the Power of Mom, and hopefully we will have another podcast pretty soon. So just contact me at our website, tothepowerofmom.com, or our Facebook, To the Power of Mom. No. or our Facebook.com/TTPOM. Send us a message, and we can set up a time at night when we can do an interview. You can stay anonymous, or you can say your name, and just share your story. It kind of feels good. It's kind of like taking off your bra in the middle of the night. Feels good. It's liberating. It's like, get the sweat aired out. No, I'm kidding. Okay, well, we're going to hang up, okay? And I'll text you back right now, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.